In the current chaotic world of socio-political power, jugglery, development of human personality is getting jolts at its integrity. To maintain a balanced mental frame, emotional stability is of the highest importance together with the general power of rationality. In fact, 21st century is embalmed with the concept that emotional intelligence is the keynote factor in guiding and nourishing the inherited intellectual component in us. Actually, emotions provide value system that guides the development of intellect in response to the internal and external experiences as the individual interacts in social parlance. The present era as one of the highlight points as slow but steady erosion of humanistic aspect of the life owing to the consumeristic attitude as cons of globalization. The resultant features are not only deviations in behavior and morality, but a sort of explosion of behavioral anomalies. I repeat this word, an explosion of behavioral anomalies. Commitment to the behavioral science has prompted the urge to unravel the perspectives of absence of matured ethical backdrop, a matured thinking technique, a matured level of optimism, or the presence of impulse oriented immature thinking. This impulse oriented immature imagination which is ruling the present day world that has to be analyzed, that has to be taken into consideration by every intellectual in the society. And the society as a whole has to brood over that concept and find out a, a good manner, a good mode of things and present to the society. So, a number of case reports reveal that the void in the modern man. There are so many things void in the modern man's mind. Erupted a volcano of aggressive impulses in unsocialized behavioral context, handing them the name of clinical cases in psychology. The basic message they convey is that deep ethics, deep values are kinetic. They help maintain the identity of mankind as a whole. However, if we just analyze, have a look, the canvas of the current chaotic world is a depiction of socio-political jugglery. Development of peace and security through cooperation seems to be essential for the modern society's progress and prosperity. In order to bring about this desirable social change, we need to channelize the human energy through socio-cultural methodology. It is evident that human development is characterized by enormous differentiation. McDougall and Freud considered the major source of human development to be social, hence, the problem is known as that of socialization. It's a beautiful word. The problem is known as that of socialization. They said that an individual as an intact set of evaluative dispositions that combine with other characteristics of the person and elements of the situation in such a way to produce a desirable behavioral choice. As a mode of global definition, this has to be defined according to the social emancipation level, according to the different segments of the society. What is the contemporary method of education, method of socialization, and how socialization is being done? Is it going in an anarchic way or in a formal way according to a template or not? We cannot always imagine that this sort of socialization can be imposed on the society, or the socialization process will go according to a specifically designed template. That is not possible. But still, it has to be analyzed how it is moving. Some ethics and morals are taught consciously or intentionally in words and deeds, some inadvertently by example or happenstance. Value content deserves deliberation. Morals, education, not liberal versus conservative issue, but conservatives or liberals are aware that a solid base of the morals and ethics are very important for the development of the society. Philosophies speak fundamental values such as justice, honesty, and love as being inherently and objectively good because they flow from the constitutive human good, that which constitutes or defines our very humanity. Defines our very humanity. The problem of the future, the present, and anything, whether it is happiness of the humanity or a movement of the humanity, everything depends upon this background, paving the way to establish the ability of a very good socialization system, a good education system. If a man has no triumph over an atom, the most essential condition is he must remain a man. He must not give up at any cost those spiritual, ethical, moral, social, humanistic, cultural, and scientific values which characterize him as a man. So, a man, to live as a man, to succeed something good to the future generation, he must know the art of living as a man, as a human, with all humane qualities. Any compromise or weakness in the front of human and scientific values may ultimately lead to the triumph of atom over a man. Triumph of atom over a man. These words indicate that science should be under the control of humanity. Science is only a tool. If you allow it in its own way, and if it goes into the hands of people of no character, people of no value for the future, people of have no commitment to the contemporary society and the humanity, the science will become most destructive tool. So, the triumph of atom shall not be over a man. Man shall have the triumph over the atom and control it. The modern man and his need several things is in need of several things because much void was created by this troublesome world and all socio-political consumeristic jugglery imposed on the brains of the present modern man. Number of characteristics usually seen as a constellation of attitudes, values, needs, and modes of acting. Modern behavior is rational rather than traditional, and changes seems both normal and desirable. But still, what is required in establishing a beautiful future? It requires always correction. Correction in the behavior of individual, correction in the movement of the society. How far individual is combining or in harmony with the society, or how far society is in harmony with the interests of the individual. That equilibrium, that harmonious balance is in the hands of the whole of the society, and society has to work for that. With the modernization seem highly admirable, other effects are arguably far less positive. Overall, the notion that human history is moving towards a simple point of progress can be seen as highly problematic. Instead of a coherent pattern of modernity with community-based ethics, values, absence context is causing sufficient harm to mankind and personal as well as the community level. This shall be studied by the social thinkers, and more responsibility is over the not only individual, institution, but society as a whole. This void and absence of beautiful things in the mind is an eminent feature of the present era. The present era, as one of the shallow points, as slow but steady erosion of humanistic values, owing to the consumeristic attitudes as cons of globalization. It has become not only a national but also an international issue. Immense importance. According to national curriculum of several educational methodologies, is simply a matter of developing appropriate behavior and habits is not possible with simple talks. The foundation has to be laid in a very constructive way. The truth, nonviolence, love, compassion, feeling, fair play, justice, honesty, and integrity. Such beautiful words have to be coined. These words have to become common words in the minds, common words which will give a vibration in the minds of the young minds, can only help in creating such an atmosphere. The loss of faith is there in the present day society, the modern man. Such loss of faith being transmitted from adults to children without the farmers' awareness or intentionality. At times, adults with their negative bent of mind, misfit to set attitudes, values in life, they are communicating wrong things to the young. That will be creating a problem to the society, and that cannot create the right kind of behavior, that cannot create an opportunity to attain right form of adjustment, and ensures this thinking rectification must give such an environment which ensure right kind of cohesion and coexistence in the cosmopolitan specific socio-cultural context of the present universe. This would ascertain the health frame of the mind of the given members of the society, the absence of which will cause damage, and damage only in the mental health framework of the population, which will cause definitely bad things in the society. Commitment to the behavioral science, humanities, allowing the humanities to take a big value and forwarding the humanities into the forefront in order to building a society with all these things. To conclude, to sum up, that the present day society is facing a problem of socialization, improper socialization, improper attitudes, improper behavior, improper certain characteristics which will not allow this generation to succeed a good society to the future. And it is making them not only lacking values, but transmitting that value less component content to the future generations. That has to be concluded. To conclude, the solutions seem to lie at incorporating idea of having good education system as a resource pillar in the developmental context. As an incisive force, education is expected to impart beautiful pillar-like idioms like liberty, equality, social justice. All these things have to crept into the brains. They must travel as a stream into the brains of the young man, and they must become the slogans in their thinking process. Understanding the human development basis in overall developmental folds promotes social consciousness to achieve unity and fellowship, facilitate critical thinking, spell out accepted norms and counter values and their implications, achieve a humanistic attitude by having concern for others or fellow feelings, develop a self-orientation to attain culture-born value-based personality maturity to act as a proper role model for the next generation. See, our worry is what we are going to communicate to the next generation. Thus, to erode erosion of basic principles and basic instincts of the humanity, to bring tingling things, balanced life tunes, to create a space for well-being sense, the last word seems to be synthesis of ancient wisdom and the modern scientific methodology and knowledge to result in integrated personality. Thank you very much.